I am Boba Fett.
Well, welcome back, Loki. yeah, David, you will. We'll talk about it. Welcome back to Thursday Night Live. We are here tonight. We're going to talk Book of Boba Fett episode 4 and 5. So if you haven't watched either one of those, you're going to be spoiled before the night's over. It's in for a ride. So also we're going to talk collecting. I know many of us are getting ready for the Razor Crest to land. I'm watching my email religiously, saying, okay, when are they going to send the shipping update? It hasn't happened yet. So that just tells me they're confirming addresses and all that stuff, I hope. But throughout the evening, we'll have guys and gals popping in and out on the Facebook side, the chat side, as well as in the Zoom room. So those that are watching a little bit later, if you see people coming and going, or if you hear just voices, that means they're kind of going in silent mode or non-visual mode over here in the Zoom room, but they're still hanging out with us. So, but a lot to do, a lot of fun. Hope everybody's had a good week so far. And as the weekend approaches, but let the Royal Rumble begin. All right. So let's start it off, man. Let's start off talking about episode 4 in the Book of Boba Fett, the Gathering Storm. The Gathering Storm. Last we left off, in episode 3, I guess Boba comes back. He finds the Tuskens are, wiped out and everything, as far as the flashbactas, and that's where this one starts off. You start off in a flashbacta situation, as you guys are saying last week or last time we did Thursday Night Live. So that's where we begin, and you kind of get that date stamp or time stamp on where he fits in the timeline with the Mandalorian series. He's out there after he's scoped out where the slave one is, okay, which is pretty cool. Then he's kind of hanging around the fire with the old Bantha. What y'all think about his relationship with the Bantha? Was that pretty cool how they kind of developed that, showed that off?
He's like a cowboy, and that's like his horse,
Yeah.
It's so mirrors old spaghetti westerns,
Yes, yeah, over and over again you see that. In this episode and even beyond that, there's so many throwbacks to pop culture, some of those classic movies, from The Godfather to, as we'll talk about the next one, to even others. So it was super cool. And even the I don't think, and maybe you guys can help me out because I've heard different people talk about it. You think that Bantha is special effects, or you think it's like general puppetry, like the old puppetry kind of stuff? See, I'm leaning towards the old puppetry.
I think it's like a little both.
Yeah, you think maybe both?
I think it's a little both.
A little both, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I thought when it licked him, I thought that looked puppetry to me.
Okay. Yeah, that's Ricardo saying half and half as well.
Like when he went to feed him too.
Yeah. Then this little comment later, go find other Banthas, go make baby Banthas. Like, okay. So all right. So he's hanging out with the Banthas, or his Bantha, and then he sees those flares. I thought that was cool. Honestly, it took me a moment. The first one, I was like, what's that? And then it hit the other one, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It took me back to Mando season 1, episode 5, the gunslinger, when they're trying to, him and whatever that goofball guy was, trying to get Fennec Shan, and they're shooting those flares to kind of blind her. So, but that was cool. That was cool. Then, of course, he finds Fennec. So, what do you think? What do you think about from that situation moving forward? Him finding Fennec, and you guys know how it played out. What do you think about how it unfolded from there?
So I don't know. So part of me seems like it missed a few years in there.
Okay.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time with the with the Tuskens, but it almost like it seemed like it should have been a little bit longer, like maybe some time lapse in there between that point and then when he was alone, like right. Should have been.
It felt a little rushed.
More, yeah. That's kind of the feel I got from that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there was longer period of time that he was with the Tuskens and
right.
didn't show enough of that to kind of justify it, but
Yeah, because
that's kind of how I felt about it.
Yeah, because with the Tuscans, we got obviously him capturing him after he comes out of the Sarlacc, him trying to get away, him kind of winning their favor when he beat that monster from Clash of the Titans, and then we see a little bit later, then he's got the train situation, and then so obviously, these events happen, but you don't really get a time, or calendar is like, okay, how many years later or whatever, but we know. You hit the Mando event, you're at least 5 years away from the Sarlacc, because it's 5 years after return.
Yeah.
So which I guess that's just kind of how flashback does work. You don't get the whole picture; you just get snapshots. So,
All right. So who's got a Naboo starfighter for sale?
we got to wait on that, Reese. We don't want to spoil too much of 5 until we get there. We got to make the disclaimers. So, but I'm sure we've got somebody.
When I come in, I seen the guy in the camera showing his off. I figured maybe he had something going on with it.
Oh yeah, he's got one. I don't know if he's going to part with it. I think he's probably going to customize it. So obviously he finds Fennec. She's taking a gut shot, and he takes her to the outskirts of Mos Eisley to the Mod Parlor. What did y'all think of that?
Different.
Yeah. Did it fit Star Wars for you?
Nah.
No, not for you. No.
Nah. Needed to be a medical droid. Something.
Medical droid. Okay.
So to me, it kind of does, because it represents like kind of like a new era of. You think about how much Android, like for instance, Anakin, having a hand, Luke having a hand, and then Anakin, obviously Vader, there goes his legs. Same with Maul. So you think of it in that respect, like it's kind of like almost like a wasteland's way of fixing something, and it's completely different.
What I'm hearing you say, Thor, is like all of our favorite Star Wars heroes are mods. All of them have been modified.
Yeah, really, they are. You think about it.
Yeah, Luke's hand, Anakin's arm, hand, really his whole body.
Yeah,
I guess you're right.
That's kind of what I saw, and I'm like, oh, it makes sense. Why, so why not have something on Mos Eisley that's a little bit different that we're not used to seeing?
Yeah, definitely. I felt like it had like almost a prequel Coruscant kind of feel, like an Attack of the Clones, and they're chasing Zam Wessel, and they end up in that club down there. That whole kind of feel. Yeah. So. Well, I didn't know too that, and I heard some other podcasts and some of the stuff online that the guy that's actually I guess you could say the owner or proprietor of the Mod Parlor is actually like a like legendary bass player or something. And maybe Jay, you know more about the music guy. You know who that? Did you know who that guy was?
The guy,
no. Somebody said his name was like Thundercat or something like that, and he's like a bass player and just like a music icon. So
I don't know.
Yeah, so I just called him Dr. Claw. So that's
Dr. Claw. The evil Mr. Claw.
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, Inspector Gadget. And somebody was saying, and it does look like, I went back and watched it. It looked like he had like a super battle droid hand. That's what it looked like.
He was interchanging pieces out on it.
Yeah, so he started with that super battle droid hand, it looked like, and then he changed it out into the Swiss Army knife, kind of like what Stan Lee's cameo was in Thor Ragnarok. Remember, he was going to cut his hair and he had all those devices going. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. But that was something, man. That Mod Parlor, he pulls up on the Bantha and all those kids are outside. They all got all these weird modifications and jazz. And I was like, what the world is happening? Dude with the crazy eyes. And I was wondering if he was taking a shot and a photo of him, the way he was adjusting. It looked like, some kid out there in their cell phone taking a shot and posting it to Snapchat. Look at this fool right up on a Bantha. Grandpa's bringing his girlfriend to the Mod Parlor.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, when he he walks
Really was.
in and the guy's like, "Aren't you a little old for me to be here?" It's just some crazy mess, but dude, and okay, I have to confess, all right, and I know some of you guys are have got some tattoos and different stuff. I've never been in a tattoo parlor. I've been around them and stuff like that, but never been in them. But I mean, I would think, you want to wear some gloves or something when you're working on folks with a tattoo. This guy is like replacing body parts, no gloves, nothing. Maybe there's no, infection rate in the Star Wars universe. There's no bacteria. There's no whatever. There's just midichlorians. That's it. What's that?
Put them in the back of the tank.
Wash them off. Right. You do that and you drop them in the back of the tank for, quick replacement.
Sterilize
I'd be interested to see the post-op infection rates. They're coming from the Mod Parlor. What's going on? I mean, dude's got his hands inside her stomach, moving this stuff around. So I don't know.
So hey, that is Steven Thundercat Bruner.
Okay,
and he was the bassist for Suicidal Tendencies.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, an icon for sure. And they said that music was actually his music playing like outside the Mod Parlor, and then when they're in there. So, I mean, interesting character, that's for sure. I mean, it was one of those where I was like, I don't know if this fits, but then I got to thinking, well, it's more prequel kind of feel. I don't know. So, but it is interesting. Okay, so you got these mods, the mod squad or whatever, early on in Boba's time, and then obviously he comes to use some of them as part of his entourage. A bit later when he's the head cheese over the palace. So kind of neat how things come back around. So anything else from the Mod Parlor? We'll keep going. We got a lot of meat. I don't want to camp out on the mods. So all right. So obviously Fennec Shand, they're buddy after she comes to the realization that she now has mechanics for inside guts. Have these little fireside chats where she gets to know Boba, he gets to know her, all this stuff. What did you think about her comment? Because he talked about wanting to take out the biker gang or the speeder gang, and she makes a comment. It's unlikely that a bunch of speeder bikers took out the Tuskens. You think there's more to that we're going to see, or what?
Yeah, there's definitely something to that. That was
yeah.
The Pikes.
Oh yeah.
That had a lot to do with the Pikes and the way that guy was all smug when they were talking down in his little Tatooine hut. He knew more than he was letting on.
For sure.
It was ominous. It was creepy. You could tell something bad was happening.
That may be where the muscle that we see in the later episodes gets to help settle the score with the Pikes. So, and that may be a big revelation that, once they go up against the Pikes, one of the leaders makes a comment about the Tuskens or something like that. And that flips a switch for Boba. He gets all crazy on the dude. So, all right. So now we scouted out. We're in the palace. They run into the kitchen. What do you think about those droids in the kitchen? We got 3 variations.
It was
Those droids were amazing.
Obviously, one of them's familiar to us.
Yeah.
So, EV99, which I know all of us probably have one of those or 2 or 3 of those in our collection. It's good to hear his voice and see him in action again. But dude, that cook
he's like
droid,
chopping.
Yeah,
he's like chopping parsley or something. Though
he goes from being a torture droid or commanding droid to chopping parsley.
Times are tough, you got to cross train your droids.
That's true.
Right.
And you guys saw Bib Fortuna. That dude was huge. So obviously he's got to have some
He's
good.
been eating good.
Yeah.
It looked like they were preparing quite a spread,
Yes. But that other droid, man, once they were alerted to their presence, that dude's arms start to swinging, give you reminiscent of Grievous or something like that. God,
yeah.
Fennec Shand just sneaks up behind him, whoop, slipped his throat there, whatever you want to call it. So, and then where have we seen that little rabbit-looking droid before?
Wasn't it in the carton Clone Wars?
Was it? Okay.
It was in Clone Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was a pilot to a bunch of ships or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But is that the one that just got terrified and turned itself off?
Yeah.
Why you got to have an emergency kill switch like right You
Right.
just walk into a wall one day on accident, and you kill yourself.
Wake up 5 years
Seems-
later.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
it seems
Somebody
you put
finally
that in a
flips the
more,
switch.
At a yard sale.
Yeah. It reminded me of some of those because it never fails. A Disney movie is going to be some chase in the kitchen when you're trying to kill a rat or something. And here we are. Boba Fett's chasing.
Ratatouille.
Yeah,
The
Ratatouille.
Little Mermaid.
Ratatouille,
Yeah,
or
Little
you-
Mermaid.
Yeah, right out of Ratatouille, man.
Yeah. So we got that. We got an homage to that in the middle of the Book of Boba Fett, episode 4, in the kitchen. So finally they break out of the kitchen, take care of the droid issue, and there she sits. What is it they call it? The fire spray.
Slave one.
The slave one. Let's call it the roots. Let's call it the roots there. All right. So the slave one's there, has a little difficulty getting it out of there. But they're able to pull it off. And then he takes it out. He says, I got a couple of what does he say? I've got a couple of scores to settle or something like that. And gives her an out, but she's like, nah, I'm in it for the ride or something like that. Or I'll go along for the ride. So then he just finds that biker scout or biker gang and just annihilates them. What y'all think about that stuff, man?
He's Boba.
He's Boba. Yeah, there it is. Everybody's like, that's the Boba we were looking for,
Yeah.
Yeah, not the guy, hey, don't you think that was heavy-handed? Or don't you? No, this is the dude right here. Yes. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we go. We're getting some comments from over on the other side too. So, all right, Jordan, we see that, man. Why don't you drop a seismic charge? All right. At first, he said, once you get to that Sarlacc pit. Yeah, that's true. But he was looking for his. What about that? How come he didn't know where his armor was? Because I mean, we saw what happened. You think
He was out when Jawas took it from him.
Yeah.
He was out. I mean, I took it as he was just unconscious, and the Jawas were like, we don't sell human parts. We'll take the armor.
That's right. Yeah, he was out. I mean, it wasn't until the Sand People showed up and he actually gained consciousness again.
But he was conscious when he busted out, though. He knows that he used his armor to escape.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But then the
I
trauma.
get that he doesn't know where it is because he was out, but he should know that it's not still in the pit. That seems like a lot of work when you're like, oh, yeah, I climbed out with it on, so maybe
It's like when you're looking for your car.
maybe I'll look somewhere else before I go right back to.
I tell you what, though, that was super cool just to get that side shot of that slave one just hovering over it, like face down in there.
Did anyone else jump when that beak came up and was like, ah?
I knew it was coming, but I still jumped. I knew it was coming. You know those jump moments, jump scare deals. You knew it was going to happen, but sure enough, here comes the beak. And, I've heard a couple of people talk about how it was cool that, of course, it had that original trilogy look, but then you add the beak and everything. It was a homage back to the special era as well. So it was a good medium. But that was pretty cool. And man, that Joker was holding on tight. He wasn't letting him go for nothing. And they're freaking out. And Fennec Shan, hits the ejector seat or hits the seatbelt deal and hits the switch. And here comes everybody's favorite sound effect from Star Wars. The thing drops in his mouth and But my thing is,
that's a tough call too. It could have just rolled right into a little crevice on the bottom of the ship. Yeah. How you know for sure it's going to roll off?
Yeah, no. But even the damage it did, because you saw it do that, and then the wreckage of the sail barge, it starts crumbling in some more. And how in the world did the slave one escape that? Not even at least cracking the glass or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. This is, science fiction. We don't have to have everything figured out just right. But I was like, oh man, but it was cool. It was super cool for him to drop that in there. And then the dude climbs down in there, comes out all steamy. Then all of a sudden she's all mothering on him, pouring water over his head. Let's see what else we got here. I know I'm just throwing a bunch of stuff out at you guys. If there's something, I know we're kind of holding our breath, trying to wait till we get to episode 5. I know that's where most of us are. Let's see what else in episode 4. He makes that comment about she says something about, I think you've gotten soft with the Sand People, and he says, no, I just realized you need a tribe. What'd y'all think about that, man?
He's been learning his whole life.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta evolve, you know. The guy he was a little kid when his dad got taken from him, so and then you see him kind of like, you know, the people that he found trust in or whatever through the Clone Wars, Era Song and all these guys that betray him are just, you know, all he's ever learned was it's all about bounty hunting, it's all about the next score, it's all about money.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, you know,
and the Empire is
Sam-
that's what he knew.
Yeah.
it's all he knew.
Yeah, you're right. Because I mean, his dad, you know, was out of the picture early on, and he was probably, you know, from the flashbacks that we get, he was probably not around a lot anyway. Because you keep seeing that flashback where the slave one's taken off, and he's still at Camino, his hands on the glass. So it's kind of got that abandonment stuff. But then, as you guys know, with Aura Singh and those other guys, he thought he found family with them, but then they just left him high and dry over and over again. So kind of had to be a tough little joker.
Hey, Lucas.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, one thing before you get on to episode 5, I just want to point out for the record, although I'm rooting for it, it still hasn't happened. He hasn't ridden the Rancor yet.
He's not going to. He's going to try to eat him.
He's going to ride that Rancor. I'm telling you, he's going to ride that Rancor.
He's for sure riding it.
He's not riding it. He's going to eat him or try to eat him.
He said he wants to ride it. They wouldn't have put that line in if he wasn't going to ride it.
Couldn't agree more.
It will be
Couldn't
cool.
agree
But
more.
I still think there's more to that. Just the way the Machete and those guys were, or him, he was talking to the Rancor. Oh, he'll be back. There was something evil under that.
Be back to ride you and bond and love you.
Yes.
Not to be your dinner.
Oh, no way. No way.
That's a depressed Rancor that needs a Boba Fett.
Well,
He needs a
speaking of the
Boba Fett.
Rancor, you guys, I mean, we have this scene
He
from the
needs a snuggle
Godfather.
Fett.
They're sitting around the table. Boba's at the head, and the guys are throwing some attitude at him. Then all of a sudden, the Rancor reaches up from the floor, freaks
Yes.
everybody out.
And if that's not
Pretty
foreshadowing,
fast.
Yeah. What's that, Dan?
you know who needs this more than anyone? I mean, more than anyone. Hasbro needs it, because think of the box set they'll put out if he rides the damn Rancor.
You know, they really should have waited on their HasLab thing. They really should have. I think they would have got it if they had waited till after this series, but I'm sure they didn't know.
Have the first add-on be a Boba Fett figure that sits on.
Oh, you're so right. That would be awesome.
That would have been great.
Yeah,
I would have bought
See
two.
a preset already, like kind of like what they did with the tripod set,
right.
like doing a full set with him in there, like riding the Rancor, maybe eating a chicken walker or
Yes.
something like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
I could see that.
That's what we need. I'll bet I can guess which vehicle HasLab's going to go for next if they don't release it in full issue, but that might dabble into episode 5 a bit too much.
Yeah. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We got some guys that I think are thinking they might bail out before we get to episode 5.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
RJ's
didn't
building. What are you building up there, RJ? A Yoda? A Boba Fett helmet. Nice.
Got them for Christmas, and I just haven't had time. And I'm like, ooh, I got time tonight.
Yeah, that's perfect. Do some Star Wars Legos while we're talking Star Wars.
Nice.
But did nobody notice where they were all sitting at the dinner party? What they were sitting on?
Yeah, right on top of the crate over
they make a meal. He just boop, and they
Yep.
I
Well,
want the Rancor, and they all sat back down to finish eating or talking after the Rancor was under the table.
Yeah, right.
I'd
Yeah.
have been in the
How's
corner.
that get normal? You know?
I'm sure Fennec Shan was probably looking at Boba. Please do not feed him from the table. It's like a
Don't
dog
feed him the
handling
bone.
scraps.
He'll choke on that bone. Have you seen
throw
that?
one of these goons down there. Maybe that's how you feed the Rancor. But no, man, when that Joker's claws just kept, rah! I was like, holy moly. Yeah, well, that's not the end of that story. I'm sure one of those guys, those crews are going to betray him. He's going to end up having to take them out too. It's just inevitable. So, all right, well, let's get to the wrapping up of this one. So they leave the palace. They're out on the balcony, and Fennec Shan and Boba are talking. And can they be trusted? Yeah, they can trust to watch out for themselves. We're going to need some muscle. And then the Mando theme plays. Okay, now realize most of us have seen episode 5, but let's try to take yourself back in time, okay? Before you saw episode 5, when you first heard that in episode 4, what was going through your mind? Were you thinking Mando's coming? Were you thinking it was just
Immediately, of
Okay.
course. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yes, definitely.
okay?
And you think about it, we already knew he found Shand, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, eventually they got to find Mando. So
They've already thrown that bone to us already in this episode. The timeline's intact. Yeah. Yeah. I heard it and I was like, oh, I cannot believe it. Then I thought to myself, I do not want to get my hopes up though. I don't want it to be the next I want it to be the next episode, but I don't think it'll be the next episode. Because I mean, think about it. We saw Boba Fett, or what everybody rumored to be Boba Fett, season 1, Mando, episode 5, the same one that kind of puts us with the flares. That's when we first had a hint that Boba Fett might be back. But then we don't see him until, was it episode 1 or 2 of season 2?
2. No, 1.
Okay.
There's 1 when he was standing on the sand dune watching.
That's right. Because he just got the armor from Cobb Vanth. Yeah.
And then it was like 4 more episodes, maybe even more, before you see him again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they took their time really bringing him in.
So I was thinking that. I was like, okay, they're going to take their time. Yeah, we heard Mando's theme, but we're going to take his time. We might see him in the last episode as they prepare for season 3 of The Mandalorian. But then, all right, I think it's fair. We're fixing to spoil episode 5. We are there. We've arrived. Okay, I want to hear your reactions. Look at Ricardo's picture photo first. Look at Ricardo's screen photo. Those who can't see it, he's got a Rancor with Boba Fett riding it. All right. Oh, yeah, you're right, Jordan. I'm so sorry. How can I forget Black Chrysanthemum in the Cantina in this episode 4? Dude, I can't believe
I knew he was going to join up.
Oh,
I knew he was going to join up.
Can't believe we jumped over that. My apologies, guys. That was just to see that dude sitting there getting drunk and frustrated. Then he gets up and lays into those Trandoshans. That was something.
Just like staring them down, hating on them,
Yeah.
And she's all trying to talk him down, and he just rips the dude's arm off.
She's like talking, oh, you were great. Those days are gone. Everybody remembers. And he just looks like,
He's like, yeah, I don't care what you say, lady.
Yeah.
I for real thought he was going to just put the guy down and I was wrong on that one for sure. I thought he was going to chill, but no.
She's like, I'll wipe your bar tab out if you just put him down. And he's like, I got money. I'll rip his arm off and pay.
Yeah. He just threw a lot of money on the table and didn't even care.
Dude, he is the coolest Wookiee. I mean, I love Chewie. Man, this guy is legit.
Yeah, that's crazy coming from you, Lucas.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I saw on Facebook, I think today or yesterday, because Peter Mayhew, had a Facebook page and passed away, and his wife still is the admin of it, and she had put something on there about just how cool it is to see another Wookiee, so awesome and all this stuff, and just he's got big shoes to fill, but he's doing a great job. So that was a cool little tribute that she gave. Yeah. But man, that dude's awesome. I'm so glad Jordan said something. I almost ran right over that. So man, that was cool. And then to have him as part of the entourage for Boba, man. So you get all right. So here we are. We're in episode 5. What did you think about that opening scene? What was going through your mind when you start to see it? What were you guys thinking when you saw it?
Yes. I knew it. Coming.
I watched it like 5 times. We kept rewinding it and watching it. I was like, he just cut that dude in half.
He was mad.
Oh man,
yeah.
Never seen him that rough, dude. He was just, God. He's got a lot of angst. He didn't have Baby Yoda around anymore to tone him down, I guess.
Was anybody else hungry for bacon during or after that?
Those were not tauntauns, man. That was a real cow. That was
Yeah. So honestly, when I first saw it, and before we saw the silhouette, I was like, okay, I feel like this is like our times. We're on Earth with some Platoonians walking around as the butchers. But then you look over in the
Some
corner.
of those
and you
guys
think,
even look like butchers, when you see it on TV or whatever,
Mhm.
Starsky and Hutch.
or you see
Yeah.
Rocky and Mick over in the corner hitting, a pound of beef, getting ready for his next fight. But then you get to the and even's got the plastic, the shredded plastic, like we've gotten, stuff here.
It's like a walk-in cooler door.
Uh-huh.
Yup,
And then
exactly.
silhouette, man. I saw the silhouette and I was like, I saw the spear and I was like Ricardo and Thor. What? Are you kidding me?
My wife's been watching it with me, and she
Oh, yeah.
saw it when she come in. She goes, "Why is he a different color?" I'm like, "What do you? He's not a different color." And she's like, "Yeah, he is. That's not the same color he was." I'm like, "That's the Mandalorian." And she goes, "Yeah, you said that's what the other guy was. What's his name?" I said, "He's Mando." She goes, "Where's Boba?" I'm like, just stop and watch."
Just sit back and
So they
watch
have
this,
it.
please.
So I paused it. I explained it, and I'm happy she wants to watch it with me. I'll explain everything. I'll stop it 100 times if I have to.
Oh yeah, I agree with
She
that,
might
bro.
not get it, but
I
I'm
agree.
tickled to death.
Yeah, to have her watch it with you, and that's the thing, because I've got, I told you guys I got 3 boys. My oldest loved it. My 2 youngest, my middle child, he hasn't watched any of the Book of Boba Fett, and he just said, "I don't really want to, Dad," but he really loved the Mando, and I said, "You've got to watch this episode. You got to watch it." So he watched it. He said, "That's the best Star Wars I've ever seen on TV." And then the youngest one watched it, and he goes, "That was dumb. Where was Boba Fett?" I was like, he goes, "It's called the Book of Boba Fett. Where was Boba Fett?" I was like, "You have no idea what you're talking about. Go to your room." So,
A true middle child.
yes. Yeah. So Mando comes out of the plastic. He's walking through. The Klatooinians are everywhere. The dog guys. I guess it was Barada. And that, I guess he's that species, the figure that we have, Barada, that character from Jabba's place. He goes in that back room. Guy's got all that money everywhere. "Hey, have you seen this guy?" I don't think I've seen. Well, I see him right now. He splits that punch. Then he goes to town on those cats. Golly. Oh, but we
Pulls
get
that tracking fob out.
yeah. Oh, and we get that line too. "I can bring you in warm, or I can bring
Bring you cold."
Classic.
It's like, here we are. So,
Guess it was cold.
yeah, it was cold. It was. You might want to get that on ice.
Well, what? Okay, so what struck me on that one was, okay, so he had to take, like, is he got to take the body, or what is it? What is he going to do with this? And then he cuts the head off. That I was like, okay, I can see that. Sure.
Yeah. But I guess we weren't, because we hadn't seen that side of Mando. We just seen him, get guys, and at the beginning of the series, he froze them in carbonite, hence the cold aspect. Maybe that's what we were thinking. No, he meant cold, cold dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
And those goofy Klatooinians, they look like dogs, and that's how they attack. They start biting like dogs.
I know. I said, I was like, oh my God, he just bit him on the hand. How do you start a fight by biting a dude on the hand?
Jordan said it over Facebook about the butcher shop or whatever. He goes, "This is where dog treats are made."
That's great.
Oh, but yes, he comes out and everybody's like, gets a mad dash for the Republic credits. So, which Mando could have taken all those. We said, like, I have no right to those. He shows a little honor in that. So that's pretty cool. Then he hobbles his way to whoever the client was. What was that creature that we've seen it before? I want to say I remember seeing a figure that it's like a green head with that kind of a, I'm talking about, with a 3-prong. Is it Ishtib or Tibish or something like that? Maybe some of the guys over in the chat remember that. So, but that was one of those.
Tib.
Tib. All right. Yeah. Ricardo says Power of the Force 2 figure. All right. Or that was Dan that said that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the one collection 3, the blue line.
Okay. And why were they so insistent that Mando sit down? It's like, I guess they wanted to keep the business going, but he had to get out of there. So, all right. So, well, we'll talk about when we get to this next part. So we find out there is it a coven or a covert? what is it called? The group of the Mandos.
Covenant.
Oh, it was a covenant.
The covenant.
Okay. All right. So he uses a coven. All right. So we got all kinds of verses. Well, the group where they hang out, place where they hang out. He finds them. Has to use this little infrared deal. He goes in, and there she sits, the armor. We've been wondering where she was, since season 1. I guess that's the last time we saw her.
Yeah.
She's on the quest, and dude falls down the steps, and then the big old knucklehead shows up. You're gonna spray him down with some Bacta spray. I wonder. I didn't check the credits. Did anybody look and see if Jon Favreau voiced him again this time? So,
I didn't even know he did it the first time.
Yeah, he did him. He was the voice of him the first time in season 1. So I bet he did it again on this one. So, but man, she asks what weapon did that, and he brings out that black saber, or dark saber, and you could see Vizsla's eyes just like. I mean, even though he had a helmet on, you could just see his body language like, oh. Man, that dark saber, Ricardo says, that's for sure. Jordan said he had subs on for that. A covert, okay. Yeah, I bet, man. Had the subtitles on, so you didn't get to hear it all. I do that on my second or third watch, and I'll turn the subtitles on so you can catch everything that's said, and even the audio commentary, because it'll explain like where places are and stuff like that. So you learn the names of planets and all kinds of stuff. Kind of an inside little loop on how to get some of that stuff, but secret knowledge, if you will.
I'll have to try that. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, you find out all kinds of stuff from that. It's like a commentary that's running in the background. It can be annoying because it's just this voice that speaks over things at times, but you do learn a lot of stuff, some inside track information. So they're talking about the Dark Saber, basically telling us stuff we already knew, but Mando doesn't know. We kind of get a fresh look at it. We get a look at the Night of 1,000 Tears, how that all played out. Man, dude, looked like I had a scene out of Terminator there with those K2 droids busting through there.
What I was thinking too.
Yeah. So, yeah, if we go back to 4, we've got, a scene from The Godfather at the table there, other stuff. Here we are in 5. We got a scene from Rocky with the butchers. And then we've got a scene from Terminator hanging out here as they're talking about the Night of 1,000 Tears. But I'd read a little bit about the Death Watch stuff and how they were different, but they were living on the moon of, what'd she say? Concord or Concordia? Is that where they were? And that's how they survived? Is that what she said?
That's what it was, wasn't it, in the Clone Wars?
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. So hanging out there, they survive. And so then you flash to them training with the Dark Saber. Now, here's the question I have for you guys, and maybe because I know some of you've read a bunch of different stuff and everything. He's having a hard time with it. And she keeps saying you're fighting against the blade. Now, is that something just for the Dark Saber, or you think that's across the board lightsaber-wise? Fighting against the blade and having a hard time?
In the other books I've read or listened to, people had a stolen lightsaber, like in the newest Republic books. What's the high priest dude? He stole that lightsaber from that Jedi and used it. He didn't have any problems.
Okay.
In the Clone Wars, they stole Ahsoka's lightsabers, and there was no issue there either.
Yeah. Maybe it's just
Dark
Saber.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, you got to remember the Dark Saber was wielded by Darth Maul once upon a time.
That's true. Yeah.
And he didn't have any problems with that.
Yeah.
And Moff Gideon used it too.
Well, and that's the thing. And Moff Gideon used it. It is weird because I thought for a little while, I was like, okay, maybe it's because they don't have Force abilities. They haven't opened themselves up to the Force, and then just that, that flow of that, because that would explain Maul, that would explain some others. But Moff Gideon didn't have Force abilities, and he seemed to wield it pretty good. But even like when the armor picked it up, she kind of had to do this double take little, like, this thing's heavy. And then the Vizsla dude, is it Ta Vizsla or whatever? I can't remember which.
Did it look like the blade got bigger when he picked it up?
I didn't pay attention. I had to go back and watch that. I don't know.
To me, it looked like the blade got bigger when he picked it up versus when Mando had it. But it just could have been them making it comparable to body size or something.
Let me see. Let me see what happens when I pick this thing up. See, let me turn off some of these lights in here. See if it happens with mine. Let's see. Let's turn this light out. May get dark in here. Let's see. Let's see if I can figure it out. Is it getting bigger? Yeah, this is that one that we got last week from Corey for my son. I said, man, can I borrow it tonight? It came in yesterday. And this thing is crazy cool. And it's got these let me see if it back up a little. I'm gonna turn this light off back here too. I'm having too much fun now, guys. Sorry.
Don't be sorry for having fun.
Let's see if I can get it to do the other effects. It's like
Yeah, I hate now all them times at Walmart I come across them things and just left them hanging on the shelf. I wish I'd have bought a couple of them.
Man, I tell you what, this is Corey took care of us.
Is that the Walmart one?
No,
this is the Black Series one.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that don't look like the ones I've seen at Walmart.
No, this is the Black
No,
Series.
I was going for the cheap one, not the high dollar one.
Corey, I think what'd he say? It was 175. You find them everywhere for 250, 275. So he may have another one if you're interested. FYI, it's really cool. This little part stays lit for a little while, and eventually it goes off. I need to grab my Mando helmet, then try it again. Maybe it'd be even better. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's just one of the mysteries of the Dark Saber. This whole, the weight of it. Don't fight against the blade. Is it a force thing? But then, like you guys said, Moff Gideon, he seemed to handle it well. And granted, Mando beat him. Mando didn't seem to have a problem. Granted, he was just walking with it in the season finale of season 2. So let's see if we got any comments over on Facebook. All right, pause visit was Favreau. All right, thank you. Okay, Jordan had a good point here. Sabine had some issues with it when she first used it. They're in Rebels, kind of fighting against it. So that might be something to check into. That's interesting, Jordan. So yeah, I forgot.
She had the help of a Jedi though to teach her how to use it.
That's right. You had Kanan and what's his face, Ezra there.
So I have a little something with that.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, it's kind of we're back here with the Mando and getting the blade, but it's kind of fast forward to another part. So I'm not gonna jump there yet. But
all right. Well,
there is something with that blade that maybe we'll see later on. So
all right.
I'll wait till we get to there.
Okay.
I thought Paz Vizsla, the huge Mandalorian, was going to be like a natural with the blade. I thought he was going to win it back because didn't they say Vizsla?
Yeah,
was
it's from his
distant relative, and he was the Jedi who forged it out of some special Beskar, right?
Yeah. It started his family. His forefather was the one that created it.
So I thought he would bust out like some, I don't know, almost Jedi-like force skills or something.
Yeah, it was crazy because the armor just was fighting or training or whatever. Din and says, "You're not ready, punk." He goes, "I want to go." No, you're fighting against it. And then Big Boy shows up and goes, "I'll fight you for it." And he's like, and Din's like, "Yeah, let's go." It's like you just got told you're no good at this.
She was like smacking him on the head with a wrench.
Yeah,
it's a juggernaut.
Right.
Reminded me of Splinter with the Ninja Turtles. No.
Yeah, he would wear those jokers out. A little Mr. Miyagi. Daniel.
What got me with that? So the confusion with the staff, with the spear. So Mandalorian, Beskar is only to be used for armor,
right?
Not for weaponry,
right? But the handle is Beskar on that weapon.
Yeah, the saber itself is made out of Beskar.
Yeah. So like that's supposed to be the only piece, but then all of a sudden there's the spear. So,
and then there's the most common question of why would you not use this ungodly strong substance for some sort of weapon? You know what I mean? And it can be and it can block lightsabers. But why use that for a weapon?
Right.
Well, the whip-winged birds that they have, are they not made from Beskar?
That's
The ones
true.
that-
Those whistling birds. The rocket things that he shoots from his wrist is Beskar. And that's a weapon. Yeah. See the
True.
armor. She's talking out of both sides of her mouth. You can't trust somebody in a helmet. So, Vader wore a helmet all the time.
Yeah, that is kind of
Death
weird.
Watch.
I didn't think about that.
I mean, they're all
Whistlers.
crazy. Death Watch are crazy.
They are cool.
Never take your helmet off. Where's that? What is that even about?
You're
Like,
right.
you kicked
Rich.
out
That's
because you took
exactly-
your helmet off? What the?
That
In front
violates.
of somebody.
Yeah. But here,
That's what that was.
here's a question. I think I know the answer. So obviously the handle's made out of Beskar, but the Dark Saber itself cannot pierce Beskar, just like a lightsaber can't pierce Beskar. So maybe that's how they get it. But the whistling birds, though, I agree with you, Reese. That's still a weapon, and it's made out of Beskar. So it's like flying shrapnel, I guess, is what that is. Beskar shrapnel.
And she made them for him, right? She made him a bunch of them.
Yeah. But what is the thing? This though is the launcher of the flying or the whistling birds Beskar, but then the things that come out are they Beskar? I don't know.
It has
Seems
to
like
be
it'd be a
because it's
basic
on his. It's part of his the whole wrist part of his armor to his suit.
Yeah, that's true. But then you'd run out eventually
Yeah.
because there's a limited supply of Beskar. I mean, granted, he only has one shot of it, and then he's got to refuel So I don't know. Those are good thoughts, though. Logically thinking out through the Star Wars universe here. So
Yeah.
So they have the little duel. He comes out on top. Has the vibra blade to his throat, and the armor shows up. All right, that's enough is enough. And then the question is asked: have you ever taken off your helmet, or has anyone ever taken your helmet off? And Big Boy says, "No, this is the way." And then she asked Den, and dude's like stone cold quiet. It's like, well, let me think about all the times it's come off since I saw you last. So we got, let's see, what the first time, what was it in Navarro in the Cantina? They're under siege and it comes off, but it's only IG-11 that sees him. And then the second time, what was that? That was
Just
when
on
he
the
was
Star Destroyer, right?
well, no, when he was in disguise when he was driving the tank.
Oh yeah,
Mayfield, and he had to go in that facial recognition stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Baby Yoda on the starship, like you said, the Star Destroyer. Ed B says Baby Yoda wants whistling birds, but was told you'll shoot your eye out. That's it.
what does everybody think he had made for Grogu?
That being said, well, let's chase this one thing. We'll come back to what Ed said. So, he's taken his helmet off 3 times. He tells her, I've taken it off. And then she's like, all right, that's it. You're done. You're out of the cult. You're done. What'd you think about that? It's a little harsh. What's your thoughts?
Yeah,
Considering
There's
it's
only
cold
2 or
of
3 of them
3,
left.
you might not want to kick out 33% of your whole.
Your retention rate's not too good here. Well, I will say this from a sociological standpoint. That's typical of a cult. I mean, it's absolute control. And if you're going to violate one thing, that's the main tenet, then you're done. Total disfellowship, total expulsion. There's
you're
nothing.
off the compound.
Yeah, you're out of the compound. We're writing you off. You're no longer one of us. You're no longer a Mandalorian. And dude, he just picks up his stuff, picks up the Dark Saber, and he just
It's on a Greyhound.
walks out of there. What is the big fella says? He goes, "See ya, apostate."
You apostate.
Get lost, punk. But kind of going back to Ed B's thing, talking about Grogu or Baby Yoda wanting the whistling birds or put his eye out. But remember, they took the spear, melted it down, and he made something special for Grogu. And, they tied it up and it looked like Grogu with the ears. So what do you guys think it is? We'll probably find out in the next couple of weeks. What do you think, Thor?
Chainmail.
It's like chain. It's
All right,
like a chain suit, right?
Yeah, you saw
I
the
guess chainmail.
chainmail, huh? Like old school armor chainmail?
Yeah.
Yep.
Beskar?
Yep. Chainmail made out of Beskar.
Okay.
I thought it was for a nose ring, maybe a couple of ear piercings.
Oh, Honestly, I wouldn't think I was thinking jewelry of some sort, maybe. Maybe a necklace of some. I don't know.
Well, it
Friendship
wasn't the
bracelet.
ball.
What's that, Thor?
It wasn't the ball.
No, the ball's not. Yeah.
Made him a friendship bracelet.
Friendship bracelet.
Little halves of the heart.
Yeah. Half a heart. He's got
friend.
one, and so does Grogu, and they'll just keep it. Yeah.
Best friends.
Best friends forever for space. So we're thinking chainmail armor. We're thinking jewelry, and that's all that could really fit in that little bitty picnic basket of a handkerchief that he had.
I know it actually didn't seem like it was even big enough to be in there. Even a little suit for him to wear. It was so tiny.
Yeah, Jordan says, I hope it's a mini Dark Saber parts unassembled so I can put it together. It's like the Legos that RJ's doing right now. It's going to put it together.
So does the armor get to keep all the extra Beskar, because that spear was a lot more Beskar than what they gave to Baby Yoda.
I mean, when you leave the party, you don't take the rest of your bottle of wine. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh, you don't? Oh,
I've
been doing it wrong. All these
kind of got booted out. He kind of got booted out of the club, so he's not going to be like, oh, let me get my
leftover Beskar.
The rest of that pizza,
But he got to keep the Dark Saber, so it's crazy. The end of that sequence was
they couldn't take
weird.
Yeah, I guess I see where you're at, Bill. But at the same time, Jay, I mean, they can't take it. They didn't win it by combat. But she said you got to win it by creed and combat.
And he broke the creed because he took his helmet off.
So was he? Well, according to her, but remember, she also thinks that Bo-Katan's an idiot or a rebel or goofball.
Yeah.
According to her, then he's not the legitimate, I guess, holder of the Dark Saber. But it is rightfully, well, I say rightfully, but it is his because no one's beat him in combat yet.
So will season 3 be called The Apostate? And he's not Mandalorian, so they can't.
That's right. The Apostate with a helmet. That's what I think. They're working on the title, but that's kind of a mouthful. But I think they may go with it.
Death Watch doesn't represent Mandalore. He's still the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He wasn't the Mandalorian before, really. He was Death Watch and just didn't really know it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Get of the Way was definitely Death Watch. So he leaves. He leaves, and whatever, he's got his little handkerchief full of whatever for Grogu.
Lucas, before we leave there, I just want to say, am I the only one that expected Master Chief to walk by somewhere? Because they clearly stole that from Halo. I mean,
oh yeah. See, I haven't never played Halo, so what did they steal in particular? Are you thinking about
the Ring World?
Oh,
that's basically the Halo. That's the
so that whole space station thing was something from Halo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I saw some people comment, hey, I wonder if Master Chief will be in next week's. I was like, what is that supposed to mean? But now I know. Wow. So, well, and they're borrowing from a little bit of everything, I guess. I mean, they understand. I mean, Favreau, Filoni, those guys, they know, I mean, lack of better words, they know geek culture. They know how to tie us.
They straight up jacked that. There wasn't nothing borrowed about that. That was 100%. Yeah.
There was
like, we'll have some of that. Yeah.
There was no creed or combat to get that. They just stole it.
Yeah. It was cool. Don't get me wrong. It looked awesome. I liked it, but it was fun.
Well, as Jordan kind of reminded us guys, and I think he's on target, when we think about the armor and her helmet, she's definitely a sympathetic maybe to Maul. She's a Maul loyalist. It's got the horns and everything on it.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider. So,
I'm thinking with that with the city there, like, is he trying to get more fan base? Like, is it trying to like a way of drawing in more fan base in that's kind of doesn't know a lot about it, but then they see this. Oh, this might actually be cool because this is.
I mean, Star Wars has got a pretty healthy following anyway, but I mean, you add more to the for real. So he leaves. He takes off. We see he's got to check all his weapons on the commercial liner because he has.
Did any of y'all think that the cruise ship, did it look Corellian to y'all? It looked like, to me, it just reminded me. It looked like it was pieced together like the Falcon is.
Yeah, I thought that too. Because we've seen some of them well, we've seen them several times. I think the Pikes got off one and all that. So when we saw some trailers early on before the season started, I actually thought it was a Falcon one time when I saw it. But yeah, it definitely looked Corellian. I agree. But he checks his weapons. I don't know about y'all. I thought for sure when he got on the other side, something was going to be missing.
Yeah, I did too.
Like somebody done 5-finger discounted that Dark Saber, and he's going to be
like
upset.
Dirty Harry taking the city bus.
Yes, yeah, that's right. The heroes,
especially like the robot was even a little glitchy. So I thought maybe.
Yeah,
is that the robot from Star Tours?
It may
like
be
the dealer from the casino.
Like it.
Yeah,
it looked like the dealer in different colors.
Seems like those guys are around everywhere.
Yeah. That might be their kind of deal, like 3PO units or those protocol droids. Just different.
One
colors.
flew a shuttle in the Rebels cartoon series.
Yeah, it did.
So he's in Tatooine. He goes and sees our favorite comedian, Pelly. And I guess the question is, how many of you guys play Jedi Fallen Order? So you knew who BD1 was? Yeah.
I knew from the figure, not the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that brings to what I was wanting to talk about.
Okay, yeah.
BD1. So are we going to see Cal Kestis?
Oh,
and maybe be a part with that, like help train Mando with the Dark Saber.
Oh man, would that be awesome? Because I mean, we know
on Mandalore, Favreau
and Filoni don't waste any little Easter egg. They usually play
That's
it
not
out.
there for nothing. Yeah.
That would be awesome. Though I didn't even think about that. I just like, Jedi Fallen Order, but yeah, just connecting the pieces.
That's kind of my question in that, like, because we don't know what's happened with them, and we do know that they're bringing out a second game,
right? Yeah.
So like a continuation of it, will that be a part of it? Like, I am.
So help me, because I never completed the game. I played it enough, and then I gave up. Honestly, I always hated completing the level, then trying to find my way back to the ship. I'd get lost. Okay. Help me know the storyline. So when Fallen Order ends, okay, spoiler for those that haven't played, where is Cal Kestis? Where is he doing in the storyline? Where is it at? When the last time we see him in any canon material? Ricardo says fighting Vader. So he fights Vader?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Fights Vader and gets away.
Okay. All right, so he's in that timeline. That's the last time we see him when Vader's still alive, so we don't see him any time after that. At least
Vader at that time was trying to destroy all of the Jedis that were out there with the help of the
Inquisitors.
The Inquisitors, yeah.
Yeah. I know when I played it, I fought against a few Inquisitors, so I figured it was in that timeline, but I didn't know by the end of the game, where he was, if he, was further down the road or what. So okay. So all intents purposes, he could be alive after Return of the Jedi then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. So yeah, who knows, man, with BD1 showing up. So those little nods like that. And
I was kind of hoping he would go with Mando, like he would be his new
jump up on his shoulder like he does with Cal Kestis.
Yeah, like he'd be his new companion,
Yeah. I mean, not too big a fan.
Is there like a Jawa tender or something? How do you date a Jawa? How's that work?
Oh,
I mean,
real furry.
Yeah.
Swipe left, swipe right. I'm sure.
Are they furry? Who even knows? I never thought they were furry.
Well, they love their stuff. So I mean, very sly guys.
Yeah. That was a little weird. Dated a Jawa.
How do you know that's not your Jawa boyfriend's brother? I mean, they all.
What did you get that comment when they came back and they're talking to him? She goes, "Oh no, I'm working on me right now." It's like he's I'm working on me. Yeah.
That was great.
Very hairy or furry. Some crazy mess.
Working on me.
But dude, they did some working on that Naboo starfighter. God. I'd heard rumors online that was going to be that, and I was like, "Oh, dude, that's going to be stupid. I bet that's not true." And I'll be honest with you, when he showed up and talking about having a replacement for the Razor Crest, I was like, yes, I didn't waste money on this ship that got blown up. They're going to give him a new Razor Crest. I'm so excited. Yes. And then they walk in that room and was like, oh, dude, it is an Abu Starfighter.
But is that really a great replacement, do you guys think? I mean, it's like
Have
you had a
faith.
bathroom in the Razor Crest, you had like a little bed, like a bedroom, a place to
Right.
crash, like an armory.
So I think
Absolutely
what
not.
happens. I
That's
think
a
what will
horrible
happen.
choice.
No, not a horrible choice at all. But I think what happens is like he'll continue to look for one or
Yeah.
parts, like a framework of one, and eventually trade it out.
How's he supposed to take a piss? Come on.
That's what I'm saying. Where are you going to
Just
take a
gotta let it
smash in
go,
an
dude.
Abu?
He's like,
You're gonna
NASCAR.
fly for like 5 days. How's that work?
How
There's
did
no
Luke do
room
it
for
next one?
Grogu to sit. Where's
No, he's
Baby
in
Yoda
the
going to sit?
droid would be that little bubbles Grogu spot, man.
Stop
back
it.
up top.
Come on.
I figured when they showed that bubble and they said, I took a droid, I was like, that's Grogu's spot right there. That's his little spot. It's like the high chair or the car seat.
Yeah.
High chair.
Car seat.
You'll be having those, having some kids when they're in the minivan, they put those stickers on the window. I never let my kids do it, but kids do it all the time. Grogu's gonna have all these stickers on that bubble. See out. Sticker. But
It's gonna
I
have one of those
My
suction cup
Grogu is
shades.
an honor student at the Jedi Training Academy.
he's gonna have that across the back.
It's gonna have a suction cup shade that you can
That's
draw
right.
down when it's flying close to the sun.
But I think maybe it was Thor's point, or I can't remember who said it. Well, let's say I'm missing all these chats over here. Amy Sedaris is a genius. Ricardo saying have faith. I saw somebody post online. They really think they'll find a new Razor or some other bigger ship, and that one will dock to it or something, like the Ghost and the what was the other ship that was
And Rebels.
Yeah, but what was the little
that's
ship
a
that
really
went
good
with it?
idea.
Because you had the Ghost and was it called the Phantom or
Phantom,
no?
yeah.
Was it the Phantom? Okay,
I think so.
So,
The can that went inside of it or whatever. Yeah.
I actually liked when they jacked that after they blew up the Phantom, they jacked that droid ship and parked it in there, like painted it the color of the
yeah.
Mhm.
Ghost as
those
well.
custom work. Oh, the Phantom. You're right. Got it.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Jordan comments over there. He says, "What if you need to use the evacuation tube?" He goes, "I'm molting. It could be a while from that first episode." Yeah, to Dan's point. Yeah, man, you got to go. What are you gonna do? You got to stop at a space station or just open up the hatch, let her rip.
I read something today talking about Easter eggs in that episode,
Uh-huh.
and when the Jawas brought him that long tube,
Oh
and
yeah.
paid him for it.
Uh-huh.
That's a direct copy of what Han and Chewie were trying to brace the trash compactor with.
Oh, you're
In New
exactly
Hope.
right.
They said it's an exact replica, it's an exact copy of it.
Oh no
Wow.
way! Very
I
cool.
want to go back and watch it again to see.
Yeah.
That's
And they say when he first started flying it, it was some of the same footage from the pod racing scene in episode
That
one.
makes sense. Yeah, because they're on Tatooine, that same Beggar's
Mhm.
Canyon through there. You're right.
Well, and I think the lady, when she's talking to him on the radio, she says, this it isn't the same kind of ship. It's a starfighter. You got to fly it like one. So I think, everybody loves the Razor Crest, but I think this is going to suit his needs for the immediate future.
Right. I still want another Razor Crest. Just so I can say I have the ship that didn't get blown up. But I'm still bitter about that. I'll be okay once it arrives, I think. I hope. But man, he gets up there and he is flying like crazy, and then he gets pulled over. Intergalactic chips, Ponch and John pull him over.
Oh, that was great.
Which is what's his name that we've seen all along. What's the character's name? I know Cara Dune called him Blue, just like police, but what is that guy's name? I know Ricardo knows. He knows everything about this stuff. But because he's a Canadian guy. I remember when he first was on that first episode, you had shared some stuff that from his 501st images and stuff. So we see a familiar face, and he's obviously the one that's more apt to let him go and everything. But then he starts questioning him about, hey, weren't you on that Razor Crest and all this stuff? He hits it in a super overdrive, takes off.
Boom. Like, how'd he do that?
Well, I didn't know this until I was listening to some of RFR, Rebel Force Radio, which is a great podcast. If you haven't listened to those guys, they're awesome. They've been around for a long time, really good. They're doing an after show after each one of these, and then they do a weekly show. But long story short, I listened to the first bit of theirs, and they said the guy that was the other pilot was actually the Luke Skywalker body double for the season finale of Mandalorian. That did the stunts and everything. So they gave him some airtime in, for his real, so you can see his real face there in the X-Wing. I thought that was really cool.
Nice.
He did a good job season finale as far as the body double, at least with the stunts. So, all right. So he lands the Naboo starfighter. What is it he said? He goes, how'd you like it? What he said, wizard. Wizard. I think I'm going to start using that. So from now on, some superlative that we have, we're just going to say wizard. So my boys would appreciate that, I think. So if you see around the canteen, if we just say wizard, it means something exciting is going down. We'll call it Thursday nights are a wizard. Let's see. Jordan says over there, so I was hoping Mando would ask him, are you the guy who asked Cara Dune if she lost people on Alderaan and then sped off? Yeah, that's him. Just kind of come back at him. So then we see finally the tie-in to the Book of Boba Fett at the very end. When I mean, we're talking last minutes where Fennec Shan jumps down and hey, Boba needs your help, and he's going to do it for free. But he said first, I got to go see a little friend. Oh, so do you think the next episode is going to be Mando heavy? We go see him, or do you think we're going back to?
We're going back to Fett.
Going back to Fett.
I think that's going to be they're gonna hold off on that until the next season of Mandalorian. I think.
Yeah. So you think that's it? Too. We don't see Mando again this season?
I don't think so.
I think we do.
You think we do?
You do?
I think Mando will come back, but then we're not going to see where he goes until the next season of Mandalorian.
Okay. All right.
But that's what I think it'll be kind of like a trade-off. Like he's got the starfighter now, so if he wanted to leave, he could leave. Right. But when he was talking with Fennec Shan about joining that coalition, so to say, that Boba's trying to start and trying to create this house, he's like, oh, a belonging for him, right? Because he's already outcasted.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that there's something there, and not to say that Boba came there and helped him get to where he was in his mission. Mm-hmm. So now Boba's trying to create this thing. So maybe it's a pact for him to go ahead and help Boba accomplish what he's trying to start to accomplish.
Right.
And then go and get him.
Yeah. And I think you touched on something there, Thor. And, Boba's wanting to start his whole coalition, all this stuff. And Mando's just lost, what he thought was his group, his identity. And so this would be a good place for him to plug in after he checks on his little friend, of course. So,
yeah.
I'm like you guys. I think the next episode we're back with Boba. But I think we will see Mando because there's only 2 episodes left in Book of Boba Fett. It's only 7 episodes, my understanding. So we got a lot to do to take down the Pikes. But then again, maybe we don't, because with this episode being all Mando, we're seeing that this is a major crossover, whatever. This is all one universe. I mean, we already knew that, but the storyline is just going to just kind of be interwoven.
Is it really taking down the Pikes at this point because it's such a big undertaking, or is it maybe with the Fets?
Yeah,
or not the Fets?
Maybe it's Crimson Dawn that we're stirring the pot with here.
Yeah,
and then that's where Mando season 3 we get a small victory here on Tatooine, and then Mando season 3 is hitting the Crimson Dawn head on because we've stirred the pot with them. I don't know. It's something to think about. I just want him to go check on Grogu, and then Luke say, hey, what's going on? Well, hey, man, back on Tatooine. Tatooine, that's my home planet. What's going on? I'm going to come help.
Go home.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's going to bring Han Solo, apparently.
That's,
so.
oh, yes.
Ooh.
So that's the next thing. I'm glad you said that, Jay, because there's
I
rumors
forgot about that.
he may be showing up. So what would that be like? The Millennium Falcon show up with Luke, Han, Chewie, Grogu.
Dude, that would be awesome.
They got
Oh.
some serious de-aging to do.
Oh, yeah. Well, they said
That
they
computer gonna work overtime.
Yeah. But
Listen, what I love about all these opportunities and all these different offshoots they could have is that if they've got the enthusiasm and the budget, there's enough content to keep producing things for people like us for years to come.
Oh yeah.
You know that's right.
you know,
So-
Jordan had a good point because we know the next episode is Filoni's episode.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great as well. I know the last one is Rodriguez's episode, so it's going to be good, and you know he's going to tie some of that stuff in there. Wow, we're in for a ride. I think these next two episodes are going to be even better than what we've already seen. So, all right. Any other parting shots or comments about the Book of Boba Fett before we kind of see what you guys are doing collecting wise and stuff, and where we're at, and what some things we're looking for? Anything? Last comments, thoughts, conspiracy theories? We'll take anything at this point. So, no, I think we've all exasperated it all. All right. So what's going on? We know RJ's working on some Legos. Anybody find
He's
anything?
killing it, actually.
He
It's
is,
like he's
man.
almost
making
done
some
with that.
serious
thing.
progress.
No, I still got 2 more bags to go. I'm not going to finish this tonight.
No, those take a while. I've got that one. I've got the Stormtrooper around here somewhere. I
need the TIE fighter helmet, but I can't. I've searched every Target. It's gone.
I was at a toy shop this week, Tuesday. Steve and I went, did some hiding out and checking out some things, and went in, and they had all the helmets, and they were all like priced at the store except the TIE fighter helmet. It was double.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and eBay is double. I'm
Yeah.
going to hold out. It'll turn up somewhere.
Yeah, it's the one everybody's wanting to get, I guess. So
I'm going to try and get the display from Target. I've already hit the electronics guy up. They're like, dude, I need that. How much for the display? Y'all are going to take it out of here soon because a new wave is coming. So
okay. Yeah, I want the Scout Trooper. I don't have it. That's one of the ones I want to. So I mean, they're everywhere. I just hadn't bit the bullet and got it. So, what about anybody find anything in the wild, or is it still a barren wasteland where you are?
It
Did Ricardo says I need the Dark Saber? Call Corey, man. Get a hold of him before it's gone. He's got another one.
There's a new company called B2. Gosh, I can't even think of the other word, but it's B2 something.
Okay.
And they're popping up around me. I don't know if they're in other places. I'm sure they are, but they had a big stock in them that they dispersed to all their B2 stores, and they were on sale for like $100.
Those Dark Sabers or the
Yeah.
wow.
I tried getting one, and they were gone before I could get there.
See, we've been looking for a long time because I'd hoped to get one for Christmas for my son, and everybody was sold out back order. We have no idea when it's going to come in, but now here's like they're showing up at all kinds of places.
Yeah, one of the
$100 in
fellow.
Canada.
Yeah, one of my fellow ladies I work with there, she's a huge Star Wars fan too. She was able to pick one up. So, yeah.
Jordan kind of commented a little bit later, or just did, and I just now saw it. Says he hopes Cad Bane and his droid pop up, but he's working with the Pikes, so on the other side of the fence. That would be interesting.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that
We'll
would
see
make
that duel
sense,
that
too.
supposedly happen. So
That'd be like legendary right there.
Or maybe even Maul.
Yeah.
Darth Maul.
well, I think he's supposedly
I
dead
know he
by
got
now.
crushed on Tatooine, but obviously he can't really die for real.
That's true. He's come back.
All is dead.
He's dead old age.
Yeah, you never know, Ricardo says. You know,
Yeah,
collecting.
yeah.
Obi-Wan cut him this way and this way.
That's right. He's quartered him. There's no way, dude. He took one, fed that piece to a bantha. There's no way.
You know Obi-Wan checked him before he buried him. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
sure.
You ain't coming back.
He looked around, cut his head off.
I mean, because what they're supposed to do with those guys, they're supposed to burn them. So maybe he burned them. That's kind of how they do the burial in the Jedi way. So maybe he took care of it. But as far as for my, I'm still waiting on the Razor Crest. Obviously, as I've been bemoaning that all show. But I do have a package coming from Hasbro Pulse. I've got the Mithril, Quill. I know some of you already got them, and then the Bo-Katan should be arriving tomorrow. Vintage collection. So I'm excited about that. So just to see those figures.
I could have picked up a whole box today.
Really? Dude, because I want that Bib Fortuna and that Lobot that's in that wave.
Yep, I had that in there.
Where did you see it? At work or something? Or
Walmart, yeah. No, not at work.
No.
I was at Walmart because I had to pick up. Well, I had to actually take back some like plastic, and I went and looked and was looking on the cart. The guy hadn't even gotten it open yet. Like it was still at the bottom of the cart. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna pull this out here and check on it. He's like, I can't even put it on the shelf yet and sell it because it doesn't scan until tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, what? Like, yeah, it's because it's the different wave. They got to put it in the system. So I had him open it up and kind of I pulled out a couple of them. I'm like, okay, well, I'll come back tomorrow and pick them up.
They're actually observing shelf dates again. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He scanned it and he's like, it's not showing my thing with the prices on it. So they have to manually do it.
On Walmart's tomorrow then, because I doubt I'll have it. I mean, it would be amazing if there was anything. So I doubt that's going to be there, but I'll still check. I need that Lobot for my carbon freezing chamber diorama.
Oh yeah, nice.
I need Bib Fortuna. I've got to add some customizing, put a few pounds on him, and then he's going to go in the. No.
Yeah, I had it. So the case had at least 2 Bo-Katans in it.
Yeah, it's supposed to have 2 Bo-Katans, I think 2 Quills, and then one of everybody else.
Yep.
When Steve and I were making the run, we went to a shop, which the guy just joined the Cantina. So show some love toward him. Mad Max Toys. Check out his site. He's got a lot of great big time Marvel Legends guy, a whole bunch of stuff. I'll try to do a little blurb so you see him. But we were there and he had got the wave, but he didn't have some of them still. But he had the Rebel, the Echo based soldier. So Steve got him. He got Quill. I think he got Bo-Katan.
Talking about John Mako?
I don't. Is that may be his name? I think he's in
it's my buddy John.
yeah. I met him Tuesday. Man, he's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
Man, he was telling me about that big Star Wars. A Batman lot he just got. It's amazing. He sold most of it already, but
yeah, I'm his go-to guy for all his Transformer stuff. So
okay, yeah. Well, that's cool. That's a small world, man.
Yep.
I was just in his shop on Tuesday, but yeah, Steve bought up that wave what he had left.
Oh, I just bought that. He had a Bespin Leia in there.
Okay.
With what looked like a V2 blaster.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and the Bespin Leia was like mint.
Oh yeah, he's.
So I'm like, yeah, dude, I gotta grab that.
I tell you what else he had in the store, guys, and I know y'all have seen it online, but it doesn't do it justice. You see it in person. Is the big Nerf? I guess the Mando's rifle. The big Nerf one.
Oh yeah,
$120 something. Dude, that thing is awesome. Of course it's the Nerf colors, but it's huge. I think it's 125. He's got it. He opened the box, so it kind of opens. It's still, he hadn't got it out, but it's like a display. That thing's unbelievable. I want to get it just to paint it the real colors, but I was like, I don't know, I'll screw it up. It is so cool looking.
I have seen some people do those up, customized for the Mando colors and all that. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
I was like, dang,
huge. But there's another place we went to, and I know you guys see all stuff where you're at too. This place called Second Chance Toys. It's like in the Marietta area around Atlanta. Had a lot of cool stuff, a lot of great vintage Star Wars, all kind of stuff. But man, it was kind of a neat. It was Tuesday was my birthday, and it's also Steve's birthday, so we just kind of ran the road and did some cool stuff like that was Cantina worthy, I guess you could say. Yeah, I think that's all I've got far as just part of that vintage collection. I'll keep my eyes open. I'm glad you said that about the shelf date. So
Has anybody seen anything off to be graded lately? Are the times to get stuff back still outrageous?
I don't know. Dan's usually a guy that sends stuff off to get graded. What are you seeing, Dan?
Yes, I got an update for you. I sent off a bunch of sealed cases last summer to get graded, and I paid. They got 4 tiers, like they got like the forever tier or the next month tier. They're not honoring any of those time frames. But I took the second best tier for the Boba Fett's and something else, and literally the Beskar.
Yeah, I saw those.
I was getting 9s and 9.5s, 9.25s, and this time around, I got very few 9s. Almost all 8.5s. Like almost everything. So they really, really, really tightened up. Or I caught a grader on a mediocre to bad day. Their time frames are trash. CAS is just as bad and not as well known. I think, honestly, that might be the last shipment I ever send to AFA.
Oh, wow.
I might just pay the premium on eBay because I know what grade I'm getting. I know what it is. But if anybody needs them, I put them out on the bay. If you want them cheaper than that, just drop me a message, mention the Cantina, and we'll knock a percentage off. And they look freaking cool. I'm not gonna lie. Once you put that in a display case, it's all nice. Because I always get the clear case version with the big label. It looks amazing and it displays beautiful. I just wish the grades were better. So nothing wrong with
I got a Letty R2 I want to send off to get graded. That's why I was asking. I've had it, and I'm just the label's about to fall off of it, and I want to get it.
Are you 100% sure that it's legit?
Oh yeah.
You mean the sticker label?
Yeah, the sticker on it. It's browning. It's turning brown, and then after it turns brown, it's starting to dry. But it's
why do you want to send that in?
It's just crumbling.
Why do you want to send that in?
Just because I think they look cool in black and acrylic, and that, and just keep me from playing with it, for lack of a better word.
I would spend the $12 and I would buy a sliding bottom case.
Yeah.
I've got
you know it's falling apart. Why pay for a low grade?
I want to see how low a grade I can get to. I got a Letty C3PO that won't even stand up.
Oh, well then go for it. Go wild. See what they do.
I want to see how low a grade I can get, but
I've seen 30s and 40s.
Oh, really? Wow.
They'll get down there. But again, I held when I was with Toy Hunter, Jordan at C2E2, I was holding a carded droids Boba Fett. And we took the picture and we talked for a little bit. But then when you flipped it over, it was all black because the figure was in a house fire. It had smoke damage.
Ooh.
So the front of it looked okay, but the back was horrible. And it graded out like a 40 or a 45. But it looked cool from the front, and that's what you want it to be, a cool display piece.
Yep.
Bill, were you asleep?
No, I'm looking at something on my phone.
I looked up and the dude was like, I was like, fell asleep on us. I mean, I know grading's not for everybody, but come on.
I'm reading an article on the Dark Saber, why it's heavy.
Okay. Did you find out anything for us?
They're saying that they mentioned the Sabine issue, and I'm not through it yet, so I don't have any new information.
Okay, there's nothing groundbreaking yet. So.
No,
so
but not sleeping either.
Okay, I didn't want to cut you off, but I just couldn't help but jump on that opportunity to get Bill.
No, if I was sleeping, I'd be snoring. I was sleeping.
Well, here's a question kind of along those lines is because I think I put it in a little comment deal. What about you guys? Are you because I know some of the crew in the Cantina is set on never opening anything, okay? Where some of us, like Jay, are openers all the way. They may keep something in the box. So what about it? How many of you would you say if you had to call yourself a mitten box or an opener, how many of you think you'd be an opener for sure? All right. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Okay.
I'm going to answer yes to both.
Okay. So you're like
Yeah.
Ricardo. Ricardo's saying half and half. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Black Series Bad Batch set.
Yeah.
I've got one that I'll never open, but I've got a set that I've opened.
Okay. Okay.
So if I can get duplicates, in fact, I got the last one I needed was the Rex, and I got it from David Becker because
Okay.
he said the case was messed up, and so I thought, well, that'll be my opener. So yeah. I'm like Jay. I like to play with them too.
Yes. Yeah, I've got that way too, setting up dioramas and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I know a lot of guys like that. They're buy two, one for open, one for storing away. So, okay, all right. Now, Dan, you're just keep it mint in a box and grade it, right, man? So is David. Yes.
It depends. I guess my theory is I want both if I can afford it.
Yeah.
Chances are I can't, but I'll try. And I'm just trying to do that vintage stuff. But one thing that I do is I don't mind like the U grade. There's a lot of collectors out here that are like very, very. It's almost political. Like you're either with the U grade or you're not. And I don't mind it. I don't have a problem with it. But when I send stuff off to get graded, they got rid of that grade. I guess with all this collecting stuff, just do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
It's your toys. Do what makes you happy. Life's too short.
That's right. Let's see. Jordan says he's an 80% opener. Tim just chimed in. He goes, I just watched the new Fett. If I'm going to open one, I'll buy two. There you go. So I guess speaking of collecting, and we kind of went over it because we were talking about the Naboo Starfighter. How many of you, when you were watching it, started going either A, where's my Naboo Starfighter, or did you already hit eBay and were like, okay, I got to find one? So, it's like, all right, I'm watching the show. It only dropped about 8 hours ago. Maybe I got a fighting chance to find a good one on eBay, So
I'm hoping.
I'm almost saying, okay, if nobody has one, you might be able to. Sorry, go ahead, Reese.
Go ahead, Reese.
I said I was hoping when I go to open it. I'm working on my war room now, and I've still got everything boxed up. So I'm hoping that I bought one and forgot about it, and will come across it eventually.
Yeah. What about it, David? You got one, man? I see you're kind of.
No, I don't got one.
So he's on the hunt.
I sold all my old modern years and years ago.
Man,
but you can forget about eBay unless you want
look
to
at
go
Bill.
200
Bill's got
plus.
one in hand right there. What you want for it, Bill?
Not for sale.
Not for NFS.
Like literally, I would say less than a year ago, I had like 4 or 5 of them sitting in my basement. So I mean, yeah.
What about Jay? How many you got? I know you probably got 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, I have one upstairs in a box.
Yeah,
it's still in the box. It didn't.
I'm
I'm not going to go dig mine out because of the
Jay,
show.
let's talk later.
So I need to sweet talk Jay.
Yeah, that's set the price now, Jay. Ricardo said this a few years ago. He was kicking himself.
Yeah, that was Clay's when he was a little kid. We bought that new at the store.
Tim says I was hoping he would crash it. Jordan says I'm hoping to find one at Goodwill. Maybe. Here's my confession. So I was watching it and I don't have one. So I was like, okay, I got to try to find one on eBay. So after it's over, I'm still flipping through it and all this stuff. So I found them, they're pricey, but then I was like, wait a minute, what's this about a candy dispenser? So there's a candy dispenser from episode 1 that's about it's a little bit smaller than the one, but it comes with a docking thing. So I bought that and I'm going to customize that bad boy and have it sit on the table with the Razor Crest. So that's we'll see how it goes. It comes with Skittles back from 1999. So I'm pretty excited about that. Hey, when I get it,
we're gonna see and watch you eat them.
I'm gonna eat the Skittles live here in the Cantina.
They'll still be good.
Oh, yeah. You think so?
That's
It's like the gum, right?
That's right. I eat 30-year-old, 40-year-old gum all the time. I can do it. So those baseball cards or movie cards, I'll eat the Skittles. So I'll probably have
that protective coating.
What's that?
They got that protective shell on them. They'll be good for you still.
enjoy the rainbow or eat the rainbow or whatever they say. I'll have to send off the candy dispenser to Jim though. He's a great customizer. We'll let him fix that up for me. So I'll just throw some silver paint on it. And there we go.
We need to start 3D printing.
Oh man, I want to get into that. I know Jay is into that deep, but I'm afraid I'm just not going to be good at it. I'm going to be wasting my money. I don't know. So, what about it, Jay? Y'all got plans for some Naboo starfighters coming now? You and Silent Bob?
We didn't have any plans, but it might not be a bad idea.
No, man, you could make a killing.
Maybe. I was just looking at them on eBay. It's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure I bought that Naboo fighter for like $7.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're over 200 now.
Oh,
yeah, and they're going on eBay. One's been up to like $127.
And the Legos are right there with it, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So Lego one's $100.
Golly.
You can get them for $80, but they don't have a cockpit or
the
that little tail part's broken off.
The ones in the box are 200 and up.
Wow.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And people are bidding.
I might sell mine.
Bill says, well, depends on how the bills go next month. It's been a little cold. That heating bill may be up and have to sell the Starfighter. So,
I've got the big Naboo, the 3 foot long one too.
The Royal Starship.
Yeah, with the R2B1.
Oh, you got a golden ticket.
Did you get that one from Matt?
I did.
I remember being at his house that night, him showing it off to you, and you bought it not too long after that, I think.
Yeah, I bought it for the R2B1 because he wouldn't sell it separately. I said, just give me the whole thing then.
Do you remember? Sorry, guys, I'm going to kind of derail a little bit here. Back when I was in grad school, Bill was, I guess you were finished by then. You were pastoring there. And I'd come stay like half the week at Bill's house while I was working on my master's. So we had a buddy, his name was Matt, and he had this, he was a bachelor, had this house just full of Star Wars stuff. We'd go and look at he'd have stuff in his living room. It's just unbelievable. He had this R2 unit. This is like was this the late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah.
And it was one of those where you'd talk to the R2 and it says, R2, do you remember? And you'd say some command and it'd go crazy. We were up in the middle of the night.
It had a reaction for Darth Vader, Princess Leia, and for Leia, it played Leia's theme and the light lit up. It was the first interactive R2. And we thought that is the coolest thing ever. And and it would go around his house. It could bring him a cold drink.
Yeah, bring him a Coke or something.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, we were just like blown away by it.
The one thing he had that I wanted that he never would sell was the R2D2 trash can.
Oh,
that was really big. I ended up finding I don't remember it's the maroon one that was Obi-Wan's.
Okay.
From the prequel series. I found that one, but I always wanted the R2D2 one, and Matt would never sell that.
Man,
golly, those were great days.
Yeah, man, he had a serious collection. So, all right, guys, anything else? Any other last parting shots about Book of Boba Fett collecting? What's happening? Anything?
Working on diorama stuff.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. So I'm doing the same. My indoor stuff is kind of taking over my back shelves, so we'll have to throw some photos up once it gets done.
Oh, it was one thing I was going to show.
Our plan next week is to do a collector spotlight. I'm going to get with Steve if he can do that. If not, we may just kind of go without him. Jay, I think they were going to talk to you. Are you able to do that Thursday next week?
Do what?
Thursday night, same time. Maybe you be the person in the spotlight for collector spotlight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
I'll get with you just to iron out everything and confirm it. Yeah. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Like, hey, can you do this in front of everyone?
No, that's all right.
What do you got there, Thor?
So this is the broken glass or shattered glass Jetfire.
Oh.
That apparently is like starting to go like hotcakes now with the whole Transformers thing.
Wow.
They sold out like as soon as they dropped, people started getting them. They sold out like right now. but they were available for pre-order, which is when I bought mine and it came with a comic also from Hasbro, and like an exclusive comic about it. And now they're just like kind of the Starfighter, they're just going nuts.
You can't find them anywhere, and everybody's wanting to pay an arm and leg to get them. Wow.
Yep. I mean, it was like, I want to say it was like $90 to get it.
Yeah.
And now they're over like almost $200 or more now. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, and you think about it, you know, whether it's something new like that or the Naboo Starfighter, and we've all had something where you thought, man, this is nothing, or we got it real cheap, and a couple years down the line, it's just the ceiling, you know, has no ceiling on it because everybody's got after it, or some craze has started up about it. So that's
I got two Fort Maxes sitting back here that, you know, one of those will go for $1,200 to $1,500.
Wow.
I'm like, that's just nuts. And those are the G1 ones.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's just, you know, I mean, you guys know from the Star Wars side, the vintage stuff is just skyrocketed in the last couple of years.
The vintage Fetts have gone through the roof.
Yeah.
In a week, they just.
That, and I think a lot of that is because again, that the Book of Boba Fett coming out.
Like, oh yeah, exactly. Purely what it was.
Mm-hmm.
The hype around that. So, you know, talking about vintage stuff, David, anything you can give us update about the IC conference? I know it's coming up pretty soon. Is it like Friday is VIP only, and then Saturday and Sunday are regular entry, or can you tell us anything, buddy?
Correct. I think that's what they've got it this year.
Okay.
And there will be a ton of vintage.
Oh yeah, I can imagine so. I remember the rodeo day, there was a bunch, so I can only imagine what it is here 2 or 3 years down the road. So
yeah, there were a couple.
What was that? Is it the end of April or end of March when it is?
It's the end of March this year.
Okay.
Right? I think I'm telling you right.
Okay.
There were a couple sail barges. There was a flag there. And all that stuff sold. The sail barge sold for like $2,500.
Good Lord.
Oh man, that's honestly, that's a good deal for what I'm seeing right now. Wow. So I'm considering going for one day, and the one day tickets I think are, I want to say $40-$50, something like that. So I don't know. I was trying to get Steve to go with me, but I don't know if he's going to do it. So it's just about 3 hours from my house. So Bill, we may need to meet in Nashville. All right. We may have to do it, buddy. Coordinate.
Yeah, I'll go. If you're going to go, I'll meet you there.
All right, good. All right. Now I got somebody to go with me. All right.
It's about 2 hours for me.
Yeah. So, all right. So I want to get some details. I knew David had the insider knowledge. So, all right. Anything else, guys? I think we had a fun night, just kind of wrapping up on 4 and 5. So in 2 weeks, this week coming up, we'll do a collector spotlight if everything works out. Then we'll do another Thursday night live, and then we'll wrap up the series, I guess. We'll do 6 and 7. Who knows what awaits us? I can only imagine. Will we see Luke? Will we see Han? Will Grogu have a chainmail armor? Or will he have a cool, trendy necklace or a nose ring like Bill thinks? Only time
Which episode will Boba Fett ride the Rancor?
Mando.
Will he ride the Rancor?
Rancor.
I think Mando brings Grogu. Grogu talks to the Rancor through the Force, and Mando rides the Rancor.
Ooh.
And everybody will say the king is back. That's right. I mean, you guys, I've enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett, but when Mando showed up, I was like, okay, it's on now for real.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was night and day. Like you were watching 2 different series almost. So, but all right. Well, that's all I got. It looks like that's all we got. Even Ian, Tim's already gone to bed over there. Tim Lawson. I'll let everybody else go to bed. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We'll throw this thing up on Facebook or on YouTube not too long. So have a great week and stay classy and wizards.